Okay. Yesterday I showed you how to do this by hand, right? And when I showed you we plotted these points, I'm not going to replot them. But we talked about how we had to kind of guess which points to use, right? Doing that should be okay for you, I would think, in Math Excel. But I want to show you a tool that will be a little bit easier for us to use, okay, on this question. So if we go to Desmos, and on Desmos, if you click this is what and there's a lot of nice features about Desmos, but they're hidden. If you click on this button right here, this plus sign, and you go down to where it says table, I'm going to click table. And now I'm going to type in these ordered pairs. Okay, and remember we said 1970 was 0. So I'm just going to type in my x values first. So 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay. Then we'll type in these values right here that go with those. Okay, so we'll do the equation for men here. So it'd be 66.8, 68.8, 69.9, 71.1, 71.7, 72.5, and 74.5. Okay. Now, it should plot those. Let's see if it did. Okay. So I plotted those, and yesterday we said, okay, I think we picked this first point and this last point to go through and make our line of best fit. Okay. Desmos is built with a procedure called the line of regression, okay, or least regression, line of least squares is what it's called sometimes as well, that will actually find the best fit line, okay, the optimal line. And this is how we do this. It's really easy if we know the commands. And this is what I was saying, that I like Desmos, but a lot of this stuff is kind of hidden. If I type in Y, and because I'm using, I want it to use these points. So the Y that I'm actually using, you see up there, it's Y1, right? So I need to hit Y, and then I hit Shift, and then the underscore, which is right next to your 0, and it will put a subscript in. Okay? So Y sub 1. Okay? Then instead of an equal sign, we're going to put the tilde. So we're going to hold Shift down, and we're going to hit the key that is to the left of the 1 on your keyboard. So it puts that little thing in, that tilde. And then we're going to go M, X, sub 1, and then add to it B. And you see how that puts in that line right there? Okay. Now, the thing about that line, you see that it's got some points above, some points below, which is what we came up with yesterday. But you notice we used that point, and that point would have been on our line. Okay. And we also used that point right there, and it would have been on our line. But here it's not, right? But that is the best fit line. So if we look at right here, it's telling me the slope, and it's telling me the y-intercept in Desmos. Does that make sense? Okay. Now I can also do this. So, and like I will put this, if I ever have this question on a quiz or something, I'll put this command on the whiteboard for you or something like that, so you know what to type in. But let's say I want to do the women. Okay, so that was 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 again. And now I'll go in and type in those Y values. So 76.2, 78.2, 78.9, 79.9, 80.4, 80.9, and 81.7. Okay, again, I'm now going to just use this line. We're going to cut and paste this. So Control C, come down here, Control V. Now the only thing is, well, it won't let me paste it. We got to use Y2 and X2 now because that's what my table was labeled. And we see that blue line, right? Okay. They intersect, correct? So out here is where they cross. If I click on them, it gives me 156.87 and 103. I think what we had yesterday, it was in the, I don't remember what, I remember the 103 number that we came up with was like 99 point something, 99.4, something like that. I don't remember how many, maybe the years were like 127 or 128, something like that. But now you have a better answer. Does that make sense? Using the technology. So if you're ever asked to be able to do that, come up with a table, you can do that. And even, you guys know that, let's do it this way. Let's say that I asked you to write an equation. Going back to chapter 2. If I tell you that you have a point like 0, 3, and 5. I don't know why it keeps doing that. 5, 12. Do you guys remember the formula said I got to find the slope? Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. And then you got to plug into this equation. With one of these being X1 and Y1. We should be able to do the same exact thing using this table. If I just type in 0, 3, and 5, 12. Now the only thing that stinks about this is I got to remember what that command was. So it's going to be Y sub 1 tilde M sub 1 times X. Oh, sorry, it's M times X sub 1 plus B. You see where it tells me my information, gives me my line here. If we go back to this here, does that line go through the 2 points that we put in there? That makes sense, everybody? So you have a tool. So instead of maybe doing it by hand, which I'm perfectly fine with this, I'm perfectly fine. If I asked you on a test or quiz, these are two ordered pairs, come up with the equation of the line that passes through them. If you can grab this technology and do it, I'm okay with that. Okay, I think that's beneficial. So use that to your advantage if you'd like.